Hi, everybody. I'm Ronnie.
Hi, and I'm Jenny, and
Who are we, Jenny?
the Heart and Soul Sisters.
Yes, we are. So, we're coming to you today to talk a little bit about being engaged in the world as spiritual people. This is something that I've been thinking a lot about, particularly right at this season, right? We're at the height of the election season. We're just days away from our 2020 national presidential election in the United States. And I've been a political junkie for a long time, but part of it is because it's what I do, right? As a sociology professor, I have to know what's going on in the world, be able to talk about it intelligently, help my students think about it, understand it. Um, but the reason I wanted to talk about this today was because I think of myself as a very spiritual person, and I know you do too. And there's so much in the realm of spirituality, whether you read books or you and I did a workshop about a month ago where the
Mhm.
instructor there, again, very spiritual person, energy worker, etc., um, said, "Oh, you need to eliminate, stress in your life. Turn off the TV. Don't watch the news." I thought, I really, really have a hard time with that. I mean, I understand the urge to want to kind of be a hermit and shut yourself away and not have any sort of outside influences and want to just kind of maintain a sense of peace or tranquility. But I just so strongly feel that that's misguided. That the very people who should be engaged in the world are those who think of themselves as highly spiritual, those who see themselves as being of light. They're called to live in love and compassion and harmony and peace and all these things. It's like, well, that's what the world needs. We need people who are living in from that standpoint, who that's their mission in life, is to be beings of light and love in the world, to be engaged in the world and to address what's happening in the world. When we love Ainsley McLeod, we're going to talk about him in our next season because we've worked with him and read his books, and I went to his workshop once, and um, he says this. He says this all the time, that spiritual people need to be engaged in the world. And every time I see him, on Instagram or wherever it is he's saying, I'm like, yes, 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 because who better? Who better the people who know how important it is to be in harmony with your environment and with all beings, people, animals, insects, uh, to look at the issue of climate change and what we should be doing to address that. Who better to be working for social justice in the racially charged environment that we are now, those of us who identify as white, just coming to understand the seriousness of in the United States in many cases. Um, it's like Abraham Hicks, who we've mentioned. We're going to talk about that work in our next season too. Saying, why not let abundance flow through me as a spiritual being? Spiritual doesn't mean you have to, shun the material world. Why not let the universe bring all kinds of abundance through you, because you, as a being of love and light who lives in compassion, will know what to do with that money, right? Buying gold toilets is not what you're going to do with that money. You're going to, as Barbara Streisand's character says in Hello, Dolly, you're going to spread it around like manure, encouraging young things to grow. Boy, there's a lot of
Yeah.
crazy cultural threads I'm pulling on today, aren't there? But I feel so strongly about this. It's it just pains me to see people who of genuine feeling and compassion just say, that's just messy. I don't want to deal with that. It's stressful. Oh yeah, it's stressful, right? I do doom scroll on Twitter all the time. My Twitter feed is all political analysts and journalists that I trust, trying to find out what's going on in the world. And oh my God, are the good guys going to win the election this time? And yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
Um, but it's
There.
something I feel very strongly about.
Yes, and I know you do.
Can you tell? Can you tell I feel really strongly about this?
And I, on the other side of the coin, am a
No
hermit.
judgment, right? No judgment.
No
I'm just.
judgment, no judgment. But I'm a hermit, definitely. That is probably one of my archetypes is coming to the forefront in in this decade of my life. I live in a very remote area, and I do the best I can to make a difference for the patients that I serve as a nurse practitioner. Um, it's interesting because I've been reading, watching videos, Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, and they talk about, you know, a lot of these researchers, and they some of their information that they're researching kind of overlaps, and they talk about our energy body and the heart energy body, and how actually if you look at quantum physics and all this, that I don't have, you know, the background to speak on in any great detail, but how our heart energy, and actually how our heart energy actually can expand and connect with all of the other consciousness on this planet, and that there is no limit or boundary to it. And I know I remember Greg Braden talking about, you know, these monasteries that have been praying, you know, these communities have been praying and sending love and light into the world, that we need those centers, because they truly are raising the consciousness of all of us. And so there's a part of me that says, oh, but we need the hermits because we need those people focusing on expanding love in their hearts, and helping that fire to grow, and then sharing that fire with the trees around them, and then it just expands like ripples in a pond, right? And then the animals and the people and the community, and really working on our own hearts, and really replacing fear with love, because fear is basically the base. That's the basis of human emotions, and from that is anger and jealousy, and, you know, all these other base emotions, greed, you know. and and by replacing, releasing that fear and replacing that with pure love, that is transformative. And that's what I think we're, you know, that's what I see every day in my patients. There's so much fear. There's
Oh yeah.
so much fear about COVID, and then there's fear about my rights being taken away, and I don't want to have to wear a mask, and I want to wear it like a snorkeler, or I want, you know, I mean, whatever variations of, you know, I just, it, it really is, it really comes down to, it's distilled down to fear. There's so much fear
I
on,
agree.
in so many people's hearts in this human experience. and and for me, I don't want to make any decisions out of fear. Definitely I'm affected by it, certainly.
Right.
um
Right.
but I want so much to be awake, and to be aware, and to be making my choices from a place of love
Right.
and compassion.
Yeah.
And so, I am not nearly as involved as you are, Ronnie. And we know that. but I do read more. I have tried to be more involved, at least, in my support of groups that are trying to make this world a better place. And um, and I think we all can do something, you know, whether it's contributing to a local food bank to help people. You know, our family, my husband and our kids, have been involved in so many different things through the years, trying to help our local communities, or trying to help communities far away. And we all can do something. We
Right.
all can contribute in some way to try to make this world better for somebody else
Right.
who is suffering.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your.
no, I just say that that takes just getting out of our own focus on, you know, on our fears, you know, and thinking about, what can I do? What can I do? What small thing can I start with?
Right. Right. And I mean, it is easy to get sucked back into the fear, right? It is easy, and it's hard. It is hard to be, especially right now with the things that are happening are scary. Um, the climate change we're seeing, some of the things that are happening in our government. Certainly, people are worried about COVID, the number of people that are dying of it, the fact that you can't reliably predict who it's going to harm, have a more significant impact on, um, because young, healthy people without pre existing conditions are succumbing to it. It is easy to get sucked into fear. Um, and I guess for me, one of the things that helps me uh, resist that is to do something,
Mhm.
is to take some kind of action, whether it's donating even a small amount of money, $5 to somebody else who's doing something that you support, whether it's, later today I'm making some phone calls to try to get people to vote, just to get the vote out, not saying who you have to vote for, just get the vote out. Um,
Mhm.
it, that engagement certainly can can be a hopeful gesture, right? It brings hope instead of fear because you're doing something in the world. The other thing I try very hard to do is to not focus on the things I see that I don't like. Although sometimes I will share things with you, right? I will send you stuff and go, "Oh my God, look, this is happening!" Because I want, our group, the kids and you and I, they're on this text chain together. I want people to know what's happening. But on the other
Right.
hand, I will move from that, and I have this mantra now that I use. I want to see everyone everywhere make decisions that increase the peace, the justice, the abundance, the health of all beings,
Hmm.
right? I mean, so
Yeah.
I visualize and think about and call the universe to bring what it is I want to see. Um, but for me, and this is probably because this is my path, right? This is my soul's journey. I have to be engaged in some way. I mean, the meditation and the being centered, trying to live being centered in love and compassion and light and those things. That's still an important part of who I am. And I organize my life around trying to, do those things. But I also feel like, and there's another step, right?
Hmm.
And there's another step, um, to know what's going on in the world, to be aware, and to take some action to try to bring us all along, um, to
Yeah.
as I said, greater peace, health, justice, abundance, etc. We all have to figure out what that balance is for us. But I
Yeah.
guess I want, my desire in talking about this today was to have the conversation for people who think
Hmm.
of themselves as being highly spiritual, to have that conversation about that it's not that the world isn't inherently bad, right? There's not this duality between spirituality and the material world, that we are material things. We are objects in this material world, right? We're energetic, right, at our basis, but we also have a physical matter. We are
Hmm.
having this physical experience in the physical world, on the physical plane. How are we engaging that
Hmm.
as beings of love and light?
Absolutely.
So that's it. That's all. Solve that one. Figure it out, and let
Awesome.
us let us know how you did it.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. In the meantime, let us know what you think, and definitely take care of yourselves. This is a time of struggle for a lot of people, and so know
Yeah.
that we are sending you so much love and so much light.
And many, many blessings.
Yes, always, always wishing you many blessings. Take care and be well.
Bye bye.